Welcome back to the Major Misconduct. I'm Scott Taylor. He's Curt Keelback. We're into segment 4 today from the Leela Sal's in Winnipeg. And I want to talk to you about hockey since we both spend most of our time in hockey rinks, both during the Manitoba Junior Hockey League at NCI, but also the time we spent in National Hockey League rinks. We have come to the mythical midway point of the NHL season. It is the All-Star break coming up this weekend in Ottawa. It's funny, I look at the list of All-Stars, and some of those defensemen I kind of go, and you know that a lot of the older players aren't going, and a lot of guys are feigning injury not to be there. But do you think an All-Star game has a place, or is this just basically a mid-season convention for the NHL?
It's a social get-together, is all it is. I mean, the game is the worst part of the All-Star. I mean, any game that winds up being 14-12 is not a hockey game at all.
Not anymore.
And
well, not anymore, since the scoring is down again. We're going to talk about that in the next segment.
Yeah,
nobody can score in this league. At least we'll see 16 goals.
Yeah, but
goals
it's I've never watched an All-Star game, not in years. And I remember last year we did the one in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, and it was the same thing. It was played in Dauphin, and it was one
By the
game.
way, congratulations!
What?
You finished that game? I thought you'd go sleep midway through the third period.
But no, it's basically an opportunity for the players to get together.
Not only was there not a body check in that game, there was not a stick check in that game.
And there won't be one in the NHL All-Star game either. You know, and it was funny because the other day I happened to be dial twisting, and I came across an All-Star game in the KHL, which is over in Russia.
In Russia, yeah.
And I mean, it looks even worse there. The score I think was 14-12, and the ice surface is wider. I didn't see anybody lift his blades to skate; they were all gliding.
No sense working up a sweat.
Oh, no,
now
you and I could play in a game like that.
Yeah, maybe.
And you could sing the anthem too. We'll get to that later.
Get to that one too. We've come to the midway point of the season. My most valuable player in the NHL is Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Not only is he the leading scorer, but he has kept a not very good Penguins team without some of their star players in the race. They're in the top 5 in the league only because of Evgeny Malkin. And we've just come off a weekend where Malkin had a winning goal in overtime and 2 more assists. A lot of people would argue with me. There's a lot of people who think that that maybe Claude Giroux in Philadelphia is your MVP. Maybe Henrik Lundqvist, the goaltender with the Rangers, who has New York on top in the East.
Maybe Zdeno Chara.
Maybe Zdeno Chara, of course. But would you not agree with me when you talk about that too? Because that's a two-headed monster. Because Tuukka Rask's played pretty well as well.
Yeah, yes.
Both Tim Thomas and Tuukka Rask are combined. Yeah, maybe. But would you not agree that Evgeny Malkin is the MVP in the NHL, right?
Yeah, and I'd also say that his coach Dan Bylsma is the coach of the year in the NHL because it's amazing what the Pittsburgh Penguins have done. They were without Chris Letang. They were without Sidney Crosby. They've been without Stahl, and they've gone through, I mean, a lot of teams have gone through injuries, but they've gone through upper echelon injuries. Now, they maybe have more talented players than a lot of other teams do, but the performance that Evgeny Malkin has put on has been phenomenal. He's picked that team up by the bootstraps, and he's a guy, he's won the Conn Smythe before, he's won the scoring title before, but because he played in the same team as Crosby, and because at one time Alexander Ovechkin was right up there in the same ballpark, he's never really got the recognition. Part of it's his own fault. He won't speak very much, which helps. The same thing happens with Pavel Datsyuk, great player, but you seldom hear from him, and that all helps to sell the game and to help sell himself. But yeah, Evgeny Malkin's the best player right now.
Now, you mentioned Dan Bylsma. He's done a whale of a job, but I would suggest that Paul McLean in Ottawa is the coach of the year, just because that Ottawa team was not supposed to be 13th.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I'm biased when it comes to Mac. He's a really good friend. He's done a great job, but you're right. He's right up there.
Absolutely. We're going to talk more about hockey when we come back. You're watching the Major Misconduct. I'm the Major. He's the Misconduct, and we're live from the Sal's Leela in Winnipeg, Manitoba.